as you care more, as you get out ahead of it, and you get that positive momentum going before you're thinking any thoughts, now you have a much greater probability of getting the positive momentum going than if you're trying to overcome the negative momentum. We have interacted with so many of you, and we are at the place where we are no longer really interested in talking to you when you're in a negative place trying to turn it around, because it's so slow going, it hardly ever happens, it's annoying to everyone who's listening in. We just want to say to you, give it a rest. Stop talking about it and get out ahead of it. And there's two ways to get out ahead of it: meditate and hook in and watch the movie if there is one, and segment and tend from a place of feeling good. And you'll notice big time the awesome power of non-resistant thought. If it's pleasurable, do it for the pleasure. If it feels good to get more detailed about it, feels good to add your insight and more details, then do it. Do it for the pleasure, not for the power. So when you said, would it be better? What'd you mean? Did you mean, would it be better for my pleasure, or would it be better for my power? Because if you're doing it for the pleasure, it's better. If you're doing it for the power, it'll bite you. Think about it. Isn't that how it goes? When you get on a roll like that, don't you want to think about it? Don't you want to talk about it? This is co-creation at its best. We just want you to ask yourself, under what influence are you as you're thinking those thoughts? That's how you get out ahead of it. If you wait until you go to the mailbox and there's a big pile of bills and you don't have the money for it, and you're sitting in that moment, the momentum is already underway, and you're not going to have pleasure in that moment. We would like you to distract yourself in some way, because we want you to practice the pleasure of non-resistant thought, not the, let's find the right word, not the human tendency or obsession with facing reality, whatever it is. Because there are those that would say, if you take pleasure from non-resistant thought and you don't focus on the bills that you have to pay, then you're irresponsible. And we say, only momentarily, because the money can't come if that's the vibration that you keep going dominantly. The thing that we want to clarify with you is, it would be better for you to not have this attitude that I want to stay there, but instead to have the attitude that I'm fluid, and I'll know when I'm there and I'll know when I'm not, and I know what to do about it. Because you don't want to eliminate step one moments from your experience, because that's the expansion quotient. You don't want to stop having information that causes you to focus. You just don't want to spend so much time in step one resistance. And so that's why we began explaining step one is when you're asking, and step two is the conspiracy of source and all of the cooperative components to answer it, and step three is you get in the receiving mode and allow it, and step four is you're really good at that. You're so good at it, which is what you're reaching for, mastery of that. And step five is having mastered it so well that I no longer need to always be there, because I'm flexible, I see the big picture, I know that step one matters, I know what to do with step one, I'm not judging myself, I'm not making a big deal about it, I'm enjoying life, I like all of it, I like the contrast, because the contrast is what launches the new rockets. Contrast is clarifying, it's not indicative of my bad behavior, it doesn't mean I'm failing, it means my guidance system is working, it means I'm working the program in a deliberate way. I trust the process. Just relax in all of this.